Alright guys, what up? It's Jack and welcome back to another video, and in this shorter video than usual, I wanted to start off by basically briefly transferring a subject matter on Twitter and onto here. So, long story short, it's basically about free-to-play titles, both that are currently out and ones that are upcoming, like XDefiant being a prime example. And I can't help but feel that I wish that XDefiant were to have a price tag on it, whether it's a full $70 or whether it's, you know, half of that or something like that, because it's a multiplayer shooter only with no campaign and all that kind of stuff. I kind of wish it had a price tag, because first of all, the first thing that comes to mind is the term "you get what you pay for." I'm sure everybody that's listening to this has heard that term. You get what you pay for. And well, when you pay for a title, you're getting what you get what you receive. But at the same time, when it comes to the whole gaming space, you're also supporting the game by buying that game, right? So the developers and the publishers and whatnot have an obligation to make sure that the game runs as intended. The fact that it also like basically everything that the game is supposed to do, it does, right? So because with a lot of free-to-play titles, obviously there's a few exceptions here and there. It's a constant battle as far as cheating is concerned, right? It's it's like a football game, to where you're trying to like, for instance, if the opposite team knew what the play was, if the opposite team knew what the team that they're playing against was going to do, it basically wouldn't work out for that team, now would it? So basically it's a constant football game, to where both sides are constantly trying to score a touchdown, right? You got the people that are developing cheats for games or whatnot, that are trying to figure out what the anti-cheat is for those games that do have anti-cheat or some form of anti-cheat, right? So that way they can counter it, and so that way their stuff can be used and bought and all that kind of stuff, right? And then of course you've got the developers that are constantly like on the defense about it, right? They're constantly on defense, and they're constantly trying to keep these guys from scoring touchdowns. So they need to keep their plays a secret, right, in terms of what they plan on doing, so that way the other guys don't figure out what they're going to do. So I feel that when you provide funds for a game that you got, right, you're supporting that game, right? And you're helping that game in terms of development and anti-cheat and all that kind of stuff. And again, like when you look at what Call of Duty is doing as of recently, like I miss the days when we used to pay for map packs, man. I'm not gonna lie, because you knew what you were getting and you would get it, right? So nowadays it's like a big question mark. It's like they'll tell you, like, once you pay the game, like all post content is free now. That's the way things are now, right? So it's like, well, the pressure really isn't on them that much. They can say you're gonna get this, but then all of a sudden if something happens, or like let's say they just are not able to do it, or whatever the reason is, whether it's good or bad, if they can't provide that, again, they're not under much pressure, because they're not paying. We're not paying for post-launch content, really. There's the battle pass and all that kind of stuff. That's different. But for post-launch content, there's never, like for instance, when you look at the shop is usually never lacking, because anything you get from the shop it's on there already, and you pay for it. That's why the shop never. There's usually never a problem with the shop, and that's a whole other issue. So. But within the same category, believe it or not, when you put it all into context. So at this point, the biggest thing, like with XDefiant, that I'm worried about is the cheating thing, obviously, because I have no doubt that Mark Rubin and crew are going to do what they're supposed to do in order to provide us with a good multiplayer shooter experience. But as we know, it doesn't. I mean, it only takes the cheating thing to make that disappear, right? The cheating, there's many games out there that are just loaded with cheaters, and a lot of players have gotten away from that. And not just that, but like with Call of Duty, it's like it's also from a development standpoint. I mean, it's with Call of Duty, a lot of players are just not playing COD. you know, unless they're playing Warzone, and I don't know what the numbers are in Warzone, and quite frankly, respectfully speaking, I don't care. I just care about the multiplayer more than anything. The numbers in the multiplayer have dropped. Simple as that, like across the board. So, so when there's no pressure to make a better game because you're pretty much guaranteed money because of the system and the way you're running things, it's like, I don't know, maybe we need to change the system so that way games have longer longevity. But I don't know, it could be a one-sided way of looking at it, and that's why I wanted to pass it off to you guys. What do you guys think as far as this subject is concerned? Should free-to-play in terms of multiplayer shooters stay, or should it go, and why? And you know, I get it. You know, I get the fact that you don't have to pay for a game and you play it and you just support the game by playing the living hell out of it if it is good and stuff. I get it, and I'm with you on that. But at the same time, with everything else that's been going on with other games and all that kind of stuff, I can't help but it just sticks out to me. You get what you pay for. But that's just me. So this is where I want to toss off to you guys. What do you think? Let me know down below. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.